Hi, this is Dean Takahashi with VentureBeat. I'm here with Peter Molyneux of Lionhead Studios. And you've got Fable III coming out
Yep.
this year. That's great.
Yep, very
Um,
exciting.
and Peter, I remember way back, I don't know, 2000 or so, when you first teamed up with Microsoft.
Yes.
You had meant, I guess the topic of games as an art form came up, and you
Mm-hmm.
had said that we were just getting out of the circus tent era.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And here we are many years later. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder, what do you think of how far games have come as an art form?
I think, unquestionably, they are an art form, and you, by any definition of the word art form,
Mm-hmm.
eliciting emotional reaction, telling you something about the world around you. Yes, definitely, it ticks all those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: what I find so fascinating with what's happened in the last 10 years. We're just starting to realise that the word games doesn't even begin to describe the scope of the experiences that are there,
Mm-hmm.
and the amount of emotion that people can get out of interacting with this entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so fascinating. Maybe, and I'm the worst person to ask this, and I'll always be, push the boundaries of what the definition is. Maybe this starts to say something about art itself. Maybe this is so much an art form.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it really does redefine and is a completely new colour in the palette of art.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start thinking like that, and you look at all the motion controls that are coming out now, and you look at some of the fantastic products like Heavy Rain, and even products like Fable, and there's some really interesting art, pure art resources like Flower. You start to realise that this is really the beginning of what is a very new country that we're going into.
Mm-hmm. And you've had art on your mind as you've evolved Fable over
Mm.
three different versions
Mhm,
here, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, we've had art in our mind, and all we've had the idea of emotion and how people feel emotionally connected, and how we can present things. We care so much about presenting a beautiful world.
mhm,
That's very much part of Fable, is that
mhm,
the world isn't always dark. There's beautiful aspects to that world to make people feel more engaged.
mhm. And Fable 1 was really a role-playing game where you could just almost completely customize your character.
Mm,
You could
mm,
be good or
mm,
bad. You just sort of gave the person, I guess, playing the game
mm,
a
mm.
much more sort of sense that they were really in it or
Yes,
involved in it.
yes, yes.
And with Fable 2, you added the dog, right?
Yes, yes.
And the point of that was more emotion, I guess.
With more emotion. It
Yeah.
was. It was. Here's the thing: is if it, when we try and create an experience like Fable, what I really care about is how it affects you, how it impacts you. And all I really want, like a greedy little fat child wanting more sweets, I want just a few seconds of your mind when you put the controller down.
Mhm.
Just to think and feel emotionally
Mhm.
emotionally affected by the experience you've had. Because let's be honest, Dean, that in today's world where entertainment mostly is bland rubbish that washes over you, and you think, why am I doing this? Why am I watching this? Why am I wasting my time on this? That's what we all want. We want that emotional connection.
Mhm.
And for things like Fable 3, it's all about giving you the experience of that emotional connection, putting it more in your control, the experience of power and responsibility and choices and consequences. Because I really want you to look at this just like any piece of art, look at this and say, you know what, even though this is a fantasy game, it does say something about my life and my world and the place that I live and the things around me.
And can you tell us about a few of the updates or changes here in Fable 3?
Yes, well, the first thing, there's a lot of changes to go through. The very first thing is you and what you're going to experience. And I want you to experience this feeling of power. I want you to feel what it's like to be faced with an adversary, to overthrow that adversary, and then to be in a position of power yourself. And then ask yourself this simple question. If I was in control, if I was a politician, a leader, a king, or a queen, what would I do? And playing something like Fable would allow you to feel some of those emotions. That combined with this, we've got this really wonderful emotional mechanic called touch, where you can reach out and grab people, or hug people, or lead people, or guide people, which is fantastic. We've completely revamped the combat system so that it's very, very accessible, but still incredibly deep, allowing you to do things like crafting your own weapons. We've added in a whole new level of control, allowing you to do things like pass judgments on things and direct your kingdom. And so there's a lot of new stuff in there in Fable 3, which will hopefully bring out new emotions.
And touch involves anything from holding your daughter's hand all the way to dragging somebody to a place they don't want to go. Right?
Yeah, here's the thing: is if I can reach out my hand, then we can, and I can feel like I can either grab someone and drag them to their fate, because that is a complete replacement of what was there before. And in a lot of games, is press A to kill someone or B to save them. Now it's a physical action that you feel involved in. You really do get this emotional side. And then the beauty of that mechanic as well is being able to walk. If you are going to woo someone, being able to walk hand in hand as the sun goes down, it's a charming, wonderful moment.
And you could touch your wife or your husband as well in this game.
Yes, indeed. You could touch absolutely anybody in the world. And the context of that touch when you reach out is dependent upon your emotional state. What that actually means is that when you first meet someone and you use the trigger to touch, you'll reach out and shake their hand. And after a while, if there's an emotional connection, you'll hug them, or you'll embrace them, or you'll kiss them, or if it's an aggressive relationship, you'll drag them, or you push them, or hit them.
That's great. That's Peter Molyneux and Fable 3. Thank you very much.